Hello, I'd like to call the regular meeting of the zoning administrator for the city of San Clemente to order. My name is Cecilia Gallardo Daly, and I'm the zoning administrator. We are going to start with approval of the minutes. I move to receive and file the minutes of the zoning administrator meeting of June 16th, 2021. The next item on the agenda is oral and written communication. This is the time on the agenda when any member of the public may address the zoning administrator on any item that is not on the agenda. The zoning administrator is not permitted to discuss or take action on items raised during non-agenda public comment. I don't have any items submitted to be read into the record for non-agenda public comments. So we'll move to the next item on the agenda, which is our public hearings. The time limitation for applicants is 10 minutes. All other speakers is 3 minutes. The public hearing process includes a staff presentation, a presentation by the applicant not to exceed 10 minutes, and public testimony not to exceed 3 minutes per speaker. Following closure of the public hearing, the zoning administrator will respond to questions raised during the hearing, discuss the issues, and act upon the matter by motion. So our first public hearing item is a minor conditional use permit for Studio K. And we'll have our staff planner, David Carrillo, give us a staff report on this item.
Yeah, good afternoon. So yeah, this is a minor conditional use permit for a request to consider accessory massage services in conjunction with primary skincare services. This suite is at 111 Avenida Del Mar, Suite 215, within downtown, within plaza known as Del Mar Plaza. The suite is located on the second floor and is accessible through a common corridor and common staircases as well from within the plaza. Just some background here. On June 8th, 2016, the zoning administrator conditionally approved minor conditional use permit 16-125 for the same operator at another location. So this same operator has conducted business with accessory massage services before in the past. And reviewing past records, staff did not find any complaints or code violations reported against the operator. And since then, so that was in 2016, since then they relocated to this new location and without accessory massage services and only providing skin care services. Yeah. So the skincare studio operates Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays right now. That's the schedule that's provided to staff between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. And again, services are primarily skincare related, which include facial treatments, body treatments, sugaring, and wax. So with this, the operator will be providing the accessory massage services during the same hours of 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. And staff does want to note that the code allows accessory massage services or massage services in general to occur between the hours of 7 a.m. and 9 p.m. So we would like to make it clear that in the future, if this permit is approved, the operator can operate from 7 to 9 p.m. without coming back to the zoning administrator to amend the minor conditional use permit. And again, it'd be in compliance with the code. So some information that we used the applicant to determine that that it will be accessory to the studio includes a sales report that's provided in attachment 4. That sales report shows that massage services are approximately 5% of the studio's revenue, and that's based on the previous operation of skincare with accessory massage services. As part of this review, we did have a code compliance review the application. They had no concerns given the location's visibility from the common areas, as well as the operator's track record. We also did have the Orange County Sheriff's Department completed background check. And again, that came out in good standing with no record of illegal activity. So for staff's analysis, we find that the required findings can be made, given that parking requirements are satisfied. The addition of accessory massage services does not intensify parking. The proposed tenant has not been convicted for criminal violations, nor has the tenant had a license revoked or suspended. And lastly, the massage technician for the business holds an active license from the California Massage Therapy Council. So therefore, staff recommends that the project be approved and we determined that the project be categorically exempt from the requirements of CEQA, and also recommend that the zoning administrator approve the project subject to conditions. We don't have the applicant available, but I do have a statement that I received from the applicant, Cecilia. So should I read that now or should I wait?
Yes, why don't you go ahead and provide us with the applicant statement regarding the project.
Okay, so to the zoning commission, thank you for taking the time to review my application for a massage minor conditional use permit for Studio K Skincare. I have enjoyed being a business owner in San Clemente for 15 years in the spa industry. Each business was licensed for massage, starting with 5 Element Spa on Avenida Del Mar for 11 years, and subsequently Studio K Skincare on Avenida Granada for 3 years. The address I'm currently at, 111 Avenida Del Mar, also had a massage license attached to it with the previous tenant, San Clemente Wellness. My primary focus is on skincare, but I would like to be able to offer massage as part of a package for my ladies. I am familiar with the requirements tied to offering massage, such as signage and operating hours. My studio is open 3 days a week from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. I hope to continue my ministry of touch in a time when peace, wellness, and human connection is more important than ever. If you have any other questions, let me know. Thank you, Christina Malik.
Okay, great. Thank you for that, David. I do have just a follow-up question regarding the floor plan. So based on the floor plan, it looks like the massage services will be provided in the treatment room. So also, essentially, there's one room for all treatment that is used by this facility.
That is correct. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right. Well, I don't have any other follow-up questions. So with that, I will open the public hearing. I have not received any requests from the public to speak on this item. David, have you received any other requests to speak on this item?
No, I have not.
Okay. All right. With that, I will close the public hearing. And I've been to the property and looked through the report, all of the exhibits, the resolution and the conditions of approval. I am able to make the findings for the project. This operator has had a business approved and operated a massage establishment in other locations. We have coordinated with the Orange County Sheriff's Department and code compliance to ensure that there are no issues or concerns. So with that, I will determine that the project is categorically exempt from the requirements of CEQA pursuant to CEQA guidelines section 15301, class 1, existing facilities. And I move to approve a resolution of the zoning administrator of the city of San Clemente, California, approving minor conditional use permit 20-146, Studio K accessory massage to allow accessory massage services in conjunction with primary skincare services at 111 Avenida Del Mar, Suite 215. Thank you, David, for that report. Okay, moving on to the next item on the agenda. It is a public hearing for a minor exception permit at 243 via Bayena. And we'll have David, our staff planner, give us a report on this item. Thanks, David.
All right, thank you. So yeah, this one's a minor exception permit. This is a request to consider a 5-foot high fence within the required front yard setback area, which is 10 feet. The maximum height for a fence is 42 inches. And the address is 243 via Bayena. It's in the residential low zoning district and special residential overlay 12 district. This site is within the residential Shore Cliffs community, and it abuts the Shore Cliffs golf course. Behind that property is a slope that belongs to the golf course with some historical slope failures, which have caused the property's usable rear yard space to diminish. That's some background there. Sorry, the property also has a front yard pool, which is important to note too for this request. So the applicant again is proposing a 5-foot high wooden fence within the.
David, I think we're getting a lot of either feedback or noise from the rustling of papers. So I don't know if that's your microphone or the other microphone.
Sorry about that. Yeah. Should I restart? Was it? No, it's good.
You don't need to restart. Just going forward, just know that the microphone is very sensitive and it's picking up all the sounds.
Got it. Okay. Let's see, where was I? Yeah, so the fence that they're requesting is a 5-foot high wooden fence, which has already been constructed. So it's out there at the site. This proposal is done to comply with building code requirements, which require a 5-foot high fence or non-climbable barrier between the sidewalk and the front yard pool, and also for the user's privacy. The project also includes a planter area in between the sidewalk and fence, along with light fixtures along the top of the fence. So initially, the applicant had proposed a 6-foot high fence, 3 feet from the property line, with a planter that didn't really contain sufficient landscaping. So in the review process, we worked with the applicant and the development management team, provided some comments that would help it improve and be consistent with the general plan policies and design guidelines. So some of the comments that we provided and which the applicant addressed were pushing the fence back 10 feet from the curb. That would allow or maintain an unobstructed view of traffic to and from the driveway, and also mitigate visual impacts. We also made a comment to reduce the fence height to the minimum required height of 5 feet by the building code to meet pool safety standards and improve visibility of the home. We also asked for additional landscaping on the planter and consider installing vines to soften visual impacts from the fence. And then we also asked that that low quality light fixtures be replaced with something a little bit more decorative and complementary to the home's architecture. So the applicant, again, was open to making those changes. And again, the fence that's constructed now on site reflects the comments that we made. The applicant understands that the fence should not have been constructed prior to this approval. So if this permit is approved, we'd be, in a sense, legalizing that fence for them. Let's see. Staff did add a condition which requires the applicant or the homeowner to remove the overheight fence, the 5-foot fence, in the event the front yard pool is removed. Again, since this is being constructed to meet pool safety standards. So staff determined that the required findings can be made for the permit, given that the fence maintains unobstructed views of traffic to and from the driveway. The 5-foot high fence, high ridge primary roof at the rear, and previous removal of a garage door allows the residence's architectural style to be visible from the street while satisfying building code pool safety standards. The project includes a planter in between the fence and sidewalk to accommodate low ground landscaping and vines along the fence to soften visual impacts. We also have a landscape barrier provided between the sidewalk and fence, consistent with neighboring properties along via Bayena. And lastly, the project is in compliance with landscaping requirements in that 324 square feet of landscaping and permeable surface is provided, where 300 square feet is required. And we also have the minimum required of trees being provided as well. And before I end, I do want to clarify as well that right now on site, we do have some gates that are over the 5 feet that staff is recommending approval for. So in this approval, the homeowner would have to reduce the height of those gates that are on site to be at 5 feet. So that concludes my presentation. Staff is recommending that the zoning administrator determine the project is categorically exempt and approve the project with subject to conditions. And we do have the applicant available for any questions.
All right, thank you for that report, David. Is there a condition of approval that requires the removal of any gate or lowering of the gate or any part of the fence that is higher than 5 feet?
No, there is no condition. The thought there was that the staff's recommended approval is for a 5 foot high fence. And with that understanding, the homeowner will have to remove or reduce the height of the overheight gates to 5 feet. But there's no condition, but I think staff is open to that. We find it necessary.
Okay. All right, thank you. Okay, would the applicant like to make any comments or address the zoning administrator on this item?
Sure. Thanks for having me here. Jeff Warren, I'm here on behalf of Bilios Holdings, who was the person. It's really just a one-man company. It's him and his assistant, and I'm his real estate agent typically. Honestly, so I've done a number of properties for this guy. I just wanted to say that, and his company. I've never seen him put a fence this height in front of the property. The only reason it didn't stick out as strange to me is because that pool, that front yard pool, this is the only home that we've sold where there's a front yard pool. It's sort of like a courtyard. And it would stick out as strange to me, the height of the fence being so high, except that, of course, there's, I guess men too, it could protect them, but mostly women and children, if they're in bathing suits and in the pool area, you probably don't want the people coming by to see them and to have them exposed even visually. So that was really his whole line of thinking in putting in the fence, was to just create a space of privacy there. So I didn't even think twice about it when it happened because of that pool. If it wasn't for the pool, probably would have asked him why it's there. But it really does fit the property well. And I think that he did do it in a beautiful way. And we did adjust the lights on it. I just had our handyman and our electrician put in more decorative lights at David's request to the property. So I think it looks really nice now. So yeah, approval would be greatly appreciated, and just wanted to express that for why it was done.
All right, thank you very much. Appreciate
Sure.
that. Okay. All right. Let's see. I will now open the public hearing. I have not received any public comments on this application. David, have you received any?
I have not.
No. Okay. All right. So seeing that there are no comments from the public to read into the record, I will close the public hearing. And let's see here. So David, I am looking at I'm looking at the resolution, and it does, obviously it references the allowance of a 5 foot high fence within the required front yard setback area. the portion, I was out at the property and as you mentioned, there is that gate on the property that is well over 5 feet. It was certainly a few feet taller than I am. So I'm just wondering how we ensure that, because that, if I'm looking at the landscape plan and site plan, that gate would be outside of the 10-foot setback. So the resolution reads to allow a 5-foot high fence within the required front yard setback area. So what about that portion of the fence that is not within the setback area? So I want to make sure that we're addressing that in this approval as well.
Got it. Yeah, good point, good question there. So the portion that's not within the front yard setback area is subject to a maximum height of 6 feet. So they'd be able to be over 5 feet if it's outside of the 10-foot setback area.
Got it. Okay. All right. So in that case, they would just be subject to the requirements in the code that limit the height of any of that portion of the fence or gate with it or outside of the setback to 6 feet.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then that leads me to my final question is, what is the status of, is there an open building permit on this property for the pool or fence? I mean, how does this approval or these conditions of approval get complied with out in the field?
Yeah, so in working with the building official, there is an open permit and it still needs to be final. So before we can final that, staff would go out there, inspect it and make sure that the fence is consistent with the approval here today.
Okay, got it. Thank you very much. Okay. All right. Well, with that, as I mentioned, I was out at the site, looked at the property and looked at the proposed work that would be authorized under this permit in the context of the development that's surrounding it. And I'm in support of the request and the findings. I think it makes sense that in order to maintain unobstructed views of traffic to and from the driveway, having that maximum 5-foot high fence within the setback, 10 feet from the property line or 7 feet 6 inches from the property line makes sense. The improved landscape plan will also help minimize the visual impacts quite a bit. When I went out there, there wasn't much landscaping that looked to be alive in that planter area. So just, property owner, be mindful of that. And
on that, may I ask when that was for it? Because she did hire a gardener, the current owner did, that I gave her the number for. And I think he put that in like a month ago. So is that dead already? Because I need to have her call him then if that's the case. He just put it in.
I was out there today.
Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. Yep. Well,
right.
that's too bad. She paid him like a month ago to put those in.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt on that.
That's okay.
But
That's
just curious.
With that, I will determine that the project is categorically exempt from the requirements of CEQA pursuant to CEQA guidelines section 15301, class 1 existing facilities. And I move to approve a resolution of the zoning administrator of the city of San Clemente, California, approving the minor exception permit 20-285 Belios pool fence to allow a 5-foot high fence within the required front yard setback area where the maximum height is 42 inches at property located at 243 via Bayena. Okay, thank you. Thank you, David. Thank you, Jeff.
Yes, thank you. Appreciate it. So with that too, and with that issue being resolved, should I then remove myself from the meeting? And I just wanted to say thank you for having me too before that happens. And I appreciate being part of this and I appreciate your approval of it as well.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yep. You can sign off now.
Okay.
All right.
Perfect.
Okay,
Thank you
thank
guys.
you.
Appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. The next item on the agenda is new business. Seeing none, I'll go to the next item, which is old business. Seeing none, I will adjourn this meeting to the next regular meeting of the zoning administrator to be held on Thursday, August 19, 2021 at 3 p.m. via teleconference.